Okay, so I'm with Steve McKim after the game. Finished Carshalton Athletic 0, Havant and Waterlooville 2, I should say. Yeah, 2. Yeah. No, probably don't want to be reminded, but dare I say, Steve, a bit of a familiar story from the season. Had the chances, made some chances, but didn't take them. Got punished at the other end.
Yeah, and that's I said to the boys in there. That's the levels. So you're playing a team that I know very well. Player-wise, from being up against them last year, and the manager, I know that they're very hard working. They do good things, and the levels are: we made a mistake in the first half by letting a centre forward of Danny Wright's quality run off us. One thing's going to happen: he's going to hit the target, and it went in. And then, secondly, we've got caught in the middle of the park where they don't give you time in the second half, and they've gone through and scored, and it's 2-0. I think other than that, in the second half, I think Danny's made one save in the second half. So you've got to punish teams when you're on top, and I thought our start was fantastic from the boys. You know what we've done in training, they listened and they learnt, and they've done really well. And I can't stand here and say any of my players had a bad game. What I can say is the levels of football is when you make a mistake against higher opposition, they punish you, and they punished us twice today on 2 of our errors. But other than that, like I say, it's a game that we're not going to get to the cup final. We'd love to have progressed. We'd love to have got to the first round proper, and you never know what happens. You might get a TV game. That's gone now. So now we've got to look at, we've got yet another cup game next week, which we've got to look at, and then we can finally get our league season up and running. I think the cup's great, but I think it's been a distraction for us, and not a good distraction. I know that there's certain areas we've got to work on and strengthen. You know, Femi was out on his feet at the end there, but he's just so pivotal to what we do and what we want to do. He stayed on, and he had a chance right at the end, you know. But just little instructions about following up, and knew that Ross might spill one, and we didn't follow up. But again, the keeper, their keeper is established national South keeper. Their players are, and you looked how they functioned and how they worked. You see why they're top of their league, and you see why that's a team that, in my opinion, not just because it's today, I do a lot of research and watch a lot of the football. That's a team that will get promoted this year, because they do the basics right, and they're very, very good at what they do. And like you say, they punish you. They had a couple of players missing today as well. So I'm very proud of what we've done as a group of players and the staff. And like you said at the start of the interview, and I told them there at half time, and I told them after the game, if you don't take chances, you can't win games of football. If I was sitting here now, or standing here with you, not sitting, if I was standing with you now and we hadn't created one chance today, and we hadn't created any chances last week at Hastings, and we hadn't created any chances in the games before, I'd be a very worried man. But I know we're creating chances, and I know one of them goals is going to come off someone's backside, and then we're going to be full throttle. That's how much belief I've got in this group. We need to add, we need to change things about, but that's all in good time and due course. So it's not going to happen straight away. You know, we brought young Matty Viger in from Crystal Palace yesterday, and he was involved in the squad today. He played half hour against PSG for the under-23s on Wednesday night, Palace, and he's a good young prospect. Reminds me of a Jack Rodoni that we had at Tonbridge that is now playing at Huddersfield in the Championship. His stature, he's good on the ball. So hopefully he'll bring something to the party. And we're forever looking, and we will continue to look. And when the right person comes along, we'll bring him into the building. And like I say, I'm very proud of what the boys done today. They stuck to their guns, didn't let their edge drop. And as it said at the end there, they could sit in. We still created 2 chances in the last 5 minutes. So it's testament to my boys to keep going.
Okay, and I've just been speaking to Paul, who's obviously an old friend of yours, and you know, and I was saying, did it add an extra edge for him to the game? And you know, you still going to buy him a beer after the game?
Yeah, of course. Listen, Paul took me into coaching at if I'm allowed to say it, Sutton United. No, I can, because I had a good time at Sutton. He took me into coaching when he didn't even know me, so he took me in as a player coach, and he moulded me into the manager I am now. You know, you take bits from other people, but he put me on the ladder. He taught me a lot of things, and I'm grateful for that. And like I say, he's been very successful. And if I can be half as successful as him, I'll be a very happy manager at the end of my career. And like I say, we are good friends. We'll stay good friends. And today, like you say, it's like any other game of football. When you're at it, you're at it. And then afterwards, you shake hands, give a cuddle, and then you go home.
Yeah. Okay. Well. hopefully onwards and upwards, and maybe take some chances next week. FA Trophy, another cup game. Do you know much about Cray Valley PM?
Yeah, we've had them watched, and we know that they've got a couple of players that used to play for the Robins, which would be an interesting thing. The crowd again, I thought were great behind us, and they don't like, and I get it. Anybody involved in a football club don't like seeing their team get beat, and they stuck with us, and hopefully they can see what we're trying to do. Hopefully the club are trying to see what we can do, and I'm not going to harp on week after week after week after week about how many new players we've got, but it takes time, and if you're given time, you get your rewards. So let's just see how things pan out, and where we go and what we do, and hopefully we can start bringing some W's to Carshalton Avenue for these supporters and everybody involved, yourselves and that are involved on the media side, just to get a feel-good factor. But I'm not going to take away from the fact today we took a very, very good side a long, long way today. It weren't a walkover at 2-0 today, and I'm proud of that, and I'll watch the video back. I know where we've gone wrong, I know where we can get better, but to take a side that haven't been beaten all season, they're grinding out results. You heard Paul's interview in the week. They played Weymouth and they got battered for 75 minutes. Made a change, scored a goal, Weymouth's bubble burst and they got another goal. So they grind teams down, and I thought today we went toe to toe with them, and positioning our league and positioning our league, you could see the quality they had, but we took them all the way, and I'm very proud of them boys today.
Okay, all right, well thanks for talking, Steve. So I've been joined here by Havant and Waterlooville manager Paul Doswell after the game. Finished Carshalton Athletic 0, Havant and Waterlooville 2. First off, Paul, welcome back to the London Borough of Sutton. Some happy memories here from your time at Sutton United?
Yeah, very much so. I think it was sort of built into me when I first come to Sutton that Carshalton and Sutton were obviously big neighbours. And I think we had about 4 or 5 decent derby games against you in my time here. So always fond memories, because it was always based around a Christmas and New Year period. So no, it's nice to come back. Nice to be back.
Okay, and obviously nice to come back with a win. I did see that on your preview for your own club's channel that you said you expected a tough game. I think you'd probably be fair enough to say that you got one today.
Yeah, more than got one, but we expected it. You come away from home. It's only one level, we're not talking too many levels difference, and knowing how organised Steve and Barry get their teams, and I knew they had ability certainly in the forward areas. I think Femi coming back into it makes a big difference as well, because he's a focal point. So we knew it would be difficult. Listen, I'm happy to say it, in there I've just given my goalkeeper the man of the match. I felt that he made 3 or 4 crucial saves, but probably that little bit of quality in that box for us and got us to 2 goals with Danny Wright. It was a very good goal, well worked goal, and it probably wasn't in keeping with how we played in the whole game. But sometimes, certainly in the FA Cup, it's not necessarily how you perform, it's how you get through. And I thought in the end, we got through okay.
Yeah. Okay, and you mentioned obviously your past association with Steve. Did that give a bit of an extra edge for you today?
Not really, because we're probably that close between the two of us that we'd only actually wish each other well. So, if you'd beaten us today, as I said, it would just literally have been wishing well. We'll never go up against each other because we sort of respect each other too much. So we let the others probably get on with that today. But you've got a very good manager here, and if you're patient and you believe in him, he'll get you promotion. There's no doubt about that. He's a top guy.
And obviously your own side, you've had an amazing start to the season. What do you put that down to? Because I mean, you had a good season last year, but obviously you've just seemed to have gone up a step.
Well, I think it's having good players. That clearly helps. I think any manager needs good players, and we've got those in abundance this year. I think signing the 4 strikers that have pretty much come good all season. I think James Roberts certainly refined in his form. It's been huge for us. I thought he played very well again today. But bringing Danny Wright and Jason Pryor and Mo Fowl and Gianni Critchlow into the squad and letting go last year's strike force, I think has made a big difference. But we did retain sort of 14 of the players from last year's squad because we felt they were good enough. Just a bit concerned again. We arrived here today and we leave here today with 6 first team players not playing, and that's a lot for a team like us. We haven't got the biggest squad, but no, it's today's probably more about giving Carshalton credit. I thought they showed if they can play like that in the league and keep that intensity, then as I said to you, I know Steve will get you very, very close to where you want to get to.
Okay, well, good luck in the next round.
You.
Good luck for the rest of the season.
Thanks
Cheers.
very much indeed.
Thanks,
Cheers.
Paul. Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Bye.
Cheers.